first red, go back one. It's the very last expenditure in general fund. You go to the first red tab, you just go back one page. And you'll see it says 190, it's where all of your salaries are.
City attorney is budgeted for there.
Oh my God, so hey, look at that, Greg, Keith, it makes sense.
Computer maintenance and
Well, my point was, is I didn't know the correlation, so now the
Street
190
lighting for
there.
the
Now I have
entire
notes that even show
city.
that correlation.
And this is a really
And
good thing to
insurance.
go over, because if you look there in the middle of the page where it says under specialized expenses, about midway down, great example is street lighting. We're paying for our street lights, which a lot of them we own, and some of them we rent. And if you look at the total outlay, it's $75,000. So that alone is just a sizable chunk of that 529 where you go, this doesn't neatly fit inside of a fire department or parks, or maybe it's public works. So when you look at that 529, think of it as all citywide expenditures that don't neatly fall into one of these department categories.
I can show you right now one I know of very well. Under specialized expenses, you may see a pretty good size increase for 58,225, computer maintenance and support. And you can see the years before we were percolating around 40. And this year, based on GoINet and the cleanup that we had to do in order to keep the city from falling into,
The Atlanta trip.
oh my God, certain, yeah, ransomwares and everything else, and you guys have no idea how close you were to falling into that. That was the initial cost to get that off the ground, and then it's going to be our ongoing cost to keep GoINet here and upgrade all our systems and keep them as safe as humanly possible. And folks, the other thing to remember, and this is what really drives it home for me, this also encompasses your police and fire. So this keeps all their computers clean, neat, tidy, nobody can get in, there's no breach of information, shall I say, none of that because of this. That's why it's there.
And this is the item that Chris helped us.
Yes, very much so.
Otherwise, this would have been part of it.
Don't you,
Thank you.
didn't you see his halo? It's still glowing to this day.
We are. Also, the HRA is a sizable component of this as well. When we talk about,
What number you got?
so go to the middle of the page again, specialized expenses, and go down to 59015.
Five, you're right on. You got this
Yeah.
number?
Yeah, like miscellaneous, 417.
So that's a health insurance reimbursement.
So when we talk about policy directive in the future with regard to health, care costs and sharing arrangements, et cetera, that is a direct effect on that particular line. It is big, right? And the reason why we can keep our premium costs low is because we're doing the HRA component. Well, that does have a cost on the back end. When you're looking, what kind of cost is that? Here's our estimate down on 190. Then at the end of the year, you can say, now what was the actual? So what was the utilization rate by employees? On the whole, no HIPAA violations, nothing there. But what was the utilization rate on the whole? We take that information to say, did we overestimate, did we underestimate? Was it a good year, was it a bad year? And that will drive the premium estimates for the following year. So it's a very important piece of information in 190.
Okay, that's all I
Yeah, I
had
see confused
personally
looks.
to chew on.
Someone's done
Chris,
that well.
yeah, fire away.
Under 59010,
59010, give me the figure there.
And insurance losses.
under the actual under 2018, can you refresh me? Was it 81?
Settlements and insurance losses,
That was, I believe, in large part due to the fire over the gym.
Yes.
And
oh,
so,
that's right.
HVAC
Right.
unit,
and
Huh?
so,
the HVAC
Yeah.
unit and the wood floor. Yeah.
So that's money we paid out, then on a different page,
Reimbursed
then we
for.
would have been reimbursed
so
by the
then if
insurance
you look at
companies.
the revenue side, there is a line item in our revenue, and of course, it's minus our deductible.
Yeah.
Which I
But-
think was fine.
I think it's 5,000.
5,000, that's on right, Chris?
Thank God.
Oh, yeah. That was
Yeah.
a big, that was a big conversation.
Thank you, insurance, thank you, insurance.
God.
Are you coming up from this?
So,
Yeah. Okay, so. No wonder we're paying high premiums.
Yeah, to say the least.
So we got a good deductible.
mhm.
Wow.
So yeah, there was
Oh, okay.
75,900
thoughts, questions that anybody may have at this time? Anything new that came up, anything, since we have professional people here to answer those questions? Not looking at me, don't look at me, I'm talking about Danielle, and the department heads themselves.
And if you wanna think about it for a second, another thing we can touch upon on 190, Danielle, we do the insurance expenses at the end of the year for liability insurance. Usually that runs, I wanna say, latter part of November, right, for final rates.
What's that, what line item are you talking about?
To review.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so look at the whole bottom category on that page of insurance expenses.
Insurance
right?
expenses, all
So
right,
that covers everything from the law enforcement bonds to inland marine to general liability, cyber liability, et cetera. And so, as well as vehicle insurance. So you recall, we do like the Hartford and Travelers Insurance, we shop the rates for each one of those components. This 128 is an estimate, but that will be one thing that's hammered out, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. I think at the same time that we're approving the budget is usually when we're getting those final numbers from the brokerage, AHM, I think,
Sure.
assured they change it. So that's good to know that as well. And as soon as we can get those numbers, we'll let you know. Right now, it's
Wait a minute.
estimated at 128,954, which is 2% up from last year.
2% I can take, it's the 10% I can't do.
And a small value at 128,690. Correct. Did that buy time for more questions?
Now, we were discussing the other consulting fees, and you guys probably addressed it already, that was 35,000, but I see that it's credited because it's an over-under
Yeah,
on the opposite end, so we were anticipating a possible consulting fee is what I'm anticipating with that, but we actually.
part of it's how much you
didn't end
use
up
your
utilizing it to
attorney
that.
as well.
We haven't used that yet. That was earmarked for, a needs assessment for the potential renovations for the public safety building and the pool and the public works building.
Which is
If we
Those
were
are-
to go out for a bond issue.
Right, because that's
Which is
gonna be
different than the
dated.
cops,
Yes.
very important.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you might go, well, didn't we just, based on.
Two
what Chris
separate
said-
bond issues.
That has to go to the voters.
I understand.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yep.
Yep, that's correct.
So I had an conversation with Jonathan, so I just kinda wanna bring it up.
Yeah, what you got, let's,
in front of. So as far as, and this is just a simple, numbers, it's nothing tied to the budget exactly. So, for example, say that like, and for Public Works has 85,000, set aside for capital improvements for the next year, and so on. And of that, and I believe Jonathan and I we've got it to where that money's not actually there, correct?
The 85,000.
So like,
and he's holding, like, as an example, he's holding 85 for the last 3 years, well, 2 years ago and this year to buy his street sweeper. Yeah.
So is that actual monies there or no? Is that just event?
So I'm going to create a separate fund.
Okay.
It's gonna be, and I include it in the next draft, because it'll look like a transfer,
Okay,
interfund transfer. So it'll be a transfer from capital to ERF, which is called Equipment Replacement Fund.
okay,
So you'll see that money move, so we'll reduce the fund balance in the capital account,
okay,
but you'll see it on the other side, and it's kind of like a savings account.
okay.
And
So my question is say instead of that whole 85, say, would we have the ability to say, all right, we have other needs within the city as far as maybe getting police equipment or fire equipment or
Yeah,
something?
higher,
Are we
higher
able to say, all right, instead of that 85, we're gonna take
Legally? Is that what you're
30 of
asking?
it? Well, and budget, like,
Yeah.
if we have the ability to do it, so that maybe we can go out and get some of the technology that the police needs to help kind of combat
yeah,
certain,
I see what you're saying.
so is that
Is it-
possible, not?
Is it tied into, I think the
Well,
one,
I would say once it's appropriated,
It's appropriated for
No.
public works.
yeah.
Right.
If we're discussing it now, and for this upcoming budget, that's something we can discuss here.
With a caveat, that the board always has the right, outside of what the defined funds legal obligations
To
are.
amend the budget,
Correct.
Right,
So if you're asking very quickly, like, hey, in March, could we talk about that in a work session? And just go, look, I heard there's this really important thing we never even thought about. Is there any way we can touch that? The answer is yes, you can make an amendment appropriation. However, without that formal process, you can't just do that,
We don't,
informally.
No,
no.
But I don't think that's what you were asking.
No, I was just asking if right now
No,
we
you
can
would
look
say
at
that, I
it
was thinking.
and say,
Legality
hey,
of it, it
here's,
has to be addressed.
yeah, can we, if the board wanted to, in the right direction, would be like, hey, we're gonna take this, put it towards cameras, put it towards whatever, now.
Yeah.
So in other words, we could.
And it's a good question, because on other such questions, the answer might be no. Like, can we take capital improvement fund allocations and just shift that over to general? The answer is no, because of how the vote was originally done with
Yeah.
the voters, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great question.
Okay, are there any other questions? Thoughts, comments, concerns at this time? And the reason I'm asking is this, we will probably do a little more fine tuning on this as far as myself, Jonathan, some of the department heads themselves.
Still another month.
And yeah, and we've got another month to show you kind of like our final budget. And then that needs to be approved though, right?
Second Tuesday of
Before the
December.
end of the year.
Yeah, so our December meeting is December the
6
tenth.
weeks.
Jonathan gave a good notice on the back of his notes when he sends out the automatic packet. And it's just something to be aware of, strictly meeting times and dates, because we have a November 12th meeting, our normal Board of Aldermen meeting, and then there is a
26th.
possible work session on the 26th, that is the week of Thanksgiving. I'm not certain if people want to do that. We'll see. It may not be needed, is the other thing.
Yeah.
And then secondarily, in that same vein,
December.
right now, December 10th is our first meeting, and the next meeting after that, obviously, be Christmas Eve. I'm not certain.
We'll
you
expect
guys-
everyone probably at 6 p.m.
Yeah, pretty soon. So,
Ho, ho, ho.
my point in saying this is, when we give you the cleanest budget we can, I would really appreciate it if you could just really take a hard, long look at it, or between now and then, if there's gonna be other questions you may have, please use that time wisely and vet any questions to anybody in this room to give you the best answer we possibly can come up with, whether it's now or futures planning, and go forward with that. So, I mean, let's just use our time wisely, and I don't want this to come back to, all of a sudden, someone's got a huge question and it's December the 10th. No, we're not doing that. We wanna make sure this, put to bed, got plenty of time to chew on it, so.
And if you want, and you have a question, what we can do is address it, do a write-up answering, and then send that out to everyone else. Obviously, no discussion, behind the scenes, but we can send out the update.
Yep.
And then when we
Legally, to all the
reconvene
Aldermen.
with the next meeting, we'll go over that as a group as well.
Because of the open rules, so, which is fine, that we can send stuff out to you to disseminate and chew on yourselves as we see fit. But you can't meet in groups of more than, what, 3?
You got it.
And make policy decisions. That's all. All right. Back to the agenda itself. Is there any old business to come before the board tonight, please? Hearing none, we'll move forward. Is there any new business to come before the board tonight?
If I could, Mayor,
Please.
and I apologize that these are so late, but we finally got our annual report done for 2018, which I typically would prefer to have you take a look at it before summer, but with the computer issues and with the fact that there's a new commander now doing the annual report, he wanted to try to do it on his own, so I let him have that opportunity. So
Okay, excellent.
I've been going back through the numbers to make sure all the information was correct, so if you guys wanna look that over, then when we get to the next board meeting, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have, but I'm gonna have it posted on the website. I didn't put that up until you guys had an opportunity to have a copy of it.
Excellent.
And I will make also comment, just to give you a heads up, starting, I believe it's in 2020, it might be 2021 now. They're starting a new way that we have to, list crime reporting, do the UCR crime reporting. So right now, if we have a call that is an assault, a stealing, and a trespassing, we log that as whichever is the most serious, so it would be an assault case, and that would come across that we had an assault.
Okay.
Starting with the new NIDR system, we have to list each one of those. So you guys are gonna see an increase probably in different crimes, not necessarily the amount of crime that we have, but you're gonna start seeing all of them that happen in one call as opposed to just the most serious.
So what appeared to be one crime is now gonna be.
You look
three
like
crimes.
it's three, so, and as we start seeing that, I will make sure that you guys, I'm gonna start doing monthly reports again, so that you guys can see what that
Well,
looks
that'd be
like.
awesome, thank you.
But I wanna give you that heads up before everybody starts going, oh my God,
Yeah.
Shrewsbury is
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Because it will
Split all the
look
ledge
different.
into California. and-
Correct, and that's nationwide, the UCR reporting, they're trying to get everything a little bit more uniform across the board, so.
Just say that just modulates everybody the
Right.
same way.
Right, so they're just trying to get everybody to be reporting in the same manner, so I'm giving you that heads up, and when I have the specific date, I think that it's January first, but I'm not 100% sure at this point, because they had some issues with the system not being up online, so I will let you know as we go, but like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me either between now and the board meeting or at the board meeting. I don't have any problems at all discussing anything you guys might have on this.
All right, cool.
Okay, great.
Anything else for new business? All right, we have here citizens. Is there anyone here to chat to the board?
Matt Stoll?
He lives here.
No, I'm not a citizen, I just came for a sign permit.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think we've already approved you, lady.
Oh, I gotta be here at 6:30, I'm so happy.
Sorry, ma'am. Congratulations.
Apologize for a little outfit.
No.
Let us finish up and we'll talk real quick, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, hearing anything else, could I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing anybody nay? All right, thank you very much for your time tonight. Yes, ma'am, who are you with?
I'm gonna say it's nice to take stuff.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Which one you guys just did?
Justice.
We're trying to get the